Welcome into Friday. I see Cujo's already in the comment section. Happy Hour Friday. My boy Tattoo is the surprise. I just put that out in the VIP Discord that we've got a surprise today. We've had thunderstorms here in St. Louis today. My power went out, then it came back, and then whatever. Razzle's going through some storms right now. We just decided to call in our old backup in Tattoo, and he is here, and he might just steal the show. Razzle may never come back. I don't know how that's going to work. No pressure. But it is Happy Hour Friday. He's got his beer. I'll let him talk about his. Mine is a Bobber beer from Logboat, Logboat in St. Louis, Missouri. It's close enough, but it's an awesome little beer for me. What you got cracking there, Tattoo?
I've decided to roll with some Bold Rock today.
Bold Rock,
because we're gonna make some bold bong calls.
Oh, that's
and this is a.
If you turn that can into a bong on the show.
Well, I mean, I could turn it into a bowl in about 30 seconds, but it's got a popper, locker. Poke some holes, get a carb. Done.
Right? No, I've seen you guys do stuff like that. Like I've seen, hell, I don't know what
the Willie Nelson apple is also a good one.
All right. Yeah, I love it. Show's already off the rails, so I like it. But
if I'm here, it's off the rails.
It's a Happy Hour Friday. We're going to go through the same rundown. Tattoo's going to play his part, and we're going to throw everything in there here in a couple of minutes. I've got a DS hack for everybody today that I want to show you guys. And before I hit the rundown, I want to see a few more people pile in before I do the rundown so people don't completely miss out on everything. God, what were we talking about just before? Oh, you were talking about how upset you get when you do the live show. If you guys don't know Tattoo, he does some NFL work. He does the NHL stuff. And he's like me. We think that these the shows, the contribution, the comments, the likes, the subscribes, where's my boy Dixon? All these kinds of things, they help these channels grow. And if we like the channels and we like the audience and they like us and whatever else, we need to see that feedback so that we can basically take these numbers to Football Geek and go, yo, dog, pay us, right? Like it's time.
Yeah. Come on, Dave Portnoy.
Right? What is that about? Oh my God. I mean, what's really funny is the two of them. I don't want to get into too much politics, but they've been known to share some political viewpoints.
I keep mine to myself for the most part.
Geek's a lot more centered than Portnoy. I certainly don't want to out him in front of a crowd. But we're at 19 or 20 viewers. Hopefully we can get over 100 today. If so, we set a record and Tattoo stays. So tell all your friends, call your mom, call your girlfriend, whatever. We're going to dive into the rundown. We've got a huge slate, huge 12-game MLB slate today, Friday. And that means, as everybody knows, we're going to still talk chalk, but you can probably throw that terminology out the window today because chalk doesn't really matter. We do not have Coors on the slate. There is no major weather concern. You can see the yellow and the red on the weather station I'm showing the screen. That's from the earlier games. It has nothing to do with today. Today is like green all the way down top to bottom. Yet, I don't see any 9s or 10s. What's up, Chuck? I don't see any 9s or 10s for hitting environments, so whatever. Implied run totals. We got, and I said, if you guys saw the short that I put out this morning on YouTube, I said there's 2 teams that are over a 7 in implied run total, but you need to consult the domination station to get those. We'll do that as part of the show. Your team's over a 5 implied run total. New York Mets, Kansas City Royals, Texas Rangers, Arizona Diamondbacks, San Diego Padres, LA Dodgers. And then I'll save the BVP stuff for when we do that. So we'll dive in and we'll talk pitchers and whatnot here first. This is where Razzle and I differ, and I'm not going to rip on Razzle for not being on the show because he's probably watching. Hey, buddy, what's up? I don't tend to care as much about pitchers as he does. I really do lean on him for pitching upside and pitching calls and things like that. And when I don't have him, I'm okay with letting DS roll for the day. So I just took about the top 6 owned dudes. I guarantee you I'm missing people. And I'm just going to use that as my pitching pool today. I'm very, very simplistic these days, very projection driven, et cetera. What's up, Derek? How do you do it, Tattoo? Since it's we haven't heard your opinion necessarily yet. How do you deal with pitchers?
Pitching, I usually look for the guys with the most K upside, and really narrow my pool down. See, I'm a single entry 3, 4, 5 max guy. I'm only trying to find higher dollar, lowest entry I can find. I'm not trying to.
That's a great concept. High dollar, low number, small field.
Yeah,
that shit's winnable.
It's so much easier to beat 47 people, 97 people, than trying to go out, and even the ones that are 1,200 people, they're winnable, but they're harder than beating 47 people. Throwing $27 in trying to beat 27 people, like that's all I do in hockey. Like I don't do anything else but go in there and look for the lowest entries I can find that are worth playing. Just like Sean, it's 121 single entry or nothing, So
I like it.
Yeah, I'm just looking for pitchers with high K upside, really.
Who do you like today? Are you staying with some of those higher owned guys in DS, or do you have anyone outside, say, that top 5 or 6 people that you're going to run to that you want in a good many of your lineups?
Mackenzie Gore is way underowned. It pains me. I'm an Orioles fan, and they suck. It's just top to bottom. Their pitching is awful, and their hitting is not, producing right now. So Mackenzie Gore, I like him a lot for lower owned. Bradley is only 12%. Justin May at 7,200, about 10%. Or a few guys I like that are lower. Jack Flaherty is 2%, 3% owned.
He can go off.
Yeah. Do people realize Detroit's got the best record in baseball?
That part people do not know. I promise.
People think they suck. I think
they do. They're supposed
most people
to.
think they suck. Detroit, they suck.
They just don't right now.
Yeah,
they're supposed to. No, that's awesome. I want to touch on something that you said before. You threw a couple of pictures out, which is awesome. But when you're talking about large field or large buy-in, small field contests, for people that don't know, it's very, very easy to determine just with no skill advantage whatsoever, just your baseline chances of winning a tournament. If there's 30 people in it, your chances literally are 1 in 30 without any skill advantage. If it's 45,000, your chances are 1 in 45,000. If you win that tournament more than 1 out of every 45,000 attempts, and let's say you're really, really good, and out of every 45,000 attempts, you win it 7 times, you've got a huge edge over the rest of the field, but you still are just not going to win it that often. So your bankroll is just going to kind of go dip, 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 and then boom, and then dip, 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 boom. That's how that track record works. I've seen from the guys that we've worked with in the past, guys that have moved on and gone to other companies and whatever else, that I've seen their trackers, I've seen their bankroll. That's what they do. But when you're playing smaller fields and you 1 out of 30, you've only got to be in like the top 3% of the overall player pool. So if you get in the top 1,500 of a 45,000 person contest, you could have won a 30-man contest. Your lineup score was strong enough to accomplish that. And if you place in the top 1,500 of a 45,000 person contest, you're going to get min cash 3x. You're not going to get much. Whereas what if you are in, I don't know what's a typical contest that you play?
Let me say, I was waiting to reserve tonight. Like the $20 single entry, 29 people.
29 people. How much is the buy-in?
$20.
And what's first place pay?
$140.
$140. So 7x.
Second, 100. Third, 70. Fourth, 60. Fifth, 50. And sixth and seventh, 40.
So just in terms of winning it and placing first, yes, everybody wants to win the 45,000 person tournament. But which one are you going to win more often? The 30-person tournament or the 45,000 person tournament? And if you produce the same score that is in the 45,000 person tournament and min cashes or gets 3x, you could have had 7x somewhere else.
Yeah.
I tell you which one's going to build your bankroll more consistently, more often, and faster and bigger. And that's getting it. Now, all we have to do is we got to get out of the nickels and the dimes and the quarters and the 50-cent pieces to get into those $20 buy-ins and be willing to do that. You guys, everybody in DFS Army has the skill to do it.
I'll tell you, I had a conversation with, God damn it, my brain locked up, Kenny the other day in baseball chat, and he showed his lineup, and I think he min cashed, and I said, if you played in the tournament I was in, you would have won by 20 points.
Yeah, isn't that sad?
And I was like, and it's the same thing. You build a great lineup and you min cash and you feel like shit about yourself. But if you play one of these, that lineup that wasn't that great won you $140. And I'll tell you how they construct their lineups in those contests is chalk, 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 chalk,
yep.
chalk, 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 chalk.
If not straight optimal from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see that a lot.
Straight optimal or a chalky stack. Same thing in hockey. Me and Burns tracked all year these contests and just watched how they played. And I was like, I'd run an optimal and be like, yo, Burns, like, he's running optimal tonight. He's running optimal. It's like these. You see how they play, and then you can beat them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because most of those guys don't. So I just wanted to point that out, and I'm glad you pointed out that Kenny would have won a different contest had he played, because I saw an instance in NFL where somebody was pissed that they only got whatever it was, a couple $100 out of the Millie Maker. And if they'd have played the next one down, which was like the 100K maker, they would have won that son of a bitch by like 15 points. So they were like, wait, I won 120. I could have won 100K. Yeah, that's the nature of the smaller fields. That's what these things do.
You got to bankroll those GPPs. So build your bankroll on that easier stuff, and then you got money to play with. But, you can't go lottery every day.
Andreas says he thought you would still be celebrating the Oilers win.
It was a long night. I didn't go to bed till about 8 a.m. that next day. I will tell you that.
Hey, Scotty Newman's here. Did you hear the comments that McDavid was making when he was like, "Why are we still asking these questions? These questions suck." Basically, that's so funny. They all want to say
they're asking about their defense, and he's like,
right. He's like, "We're still doing this
after two straight shutouts. Y'all's defense sucks." Okay. Right.
Speaking of defense, and the one thing we can't defend, that's the long ball. Let's dive into some of those hitters. Let's see what offenses you like, because either you got your own tiers. I don't know what your source is. I don't know. I don't live in the benevolent mind of Tattoo. But I'm going to tell you that I consult the DFS leverage stacks tool an awful lot. DFS Army, what did I say? DS? Man, I've been cutting off words today all day long. But when you sort by just pure leverage, like we'll sort by ownership sometimes and whatever. But when you sort by pure leverage, look at this, 9.5 points up and down the lineup for LA tonight. And they're somehow number one in leverage rank. The Yankees right behind them, 8.6 points up and down the lineup, number 2 in leverage rank. Now you're starting to get into your Boston. San Diego's another big one. Then Texas, Detroit, San Francisco, whatever. These teams, honestly, the only thing I can think of as why LA, New York, and San Diego would be so high up the list is because they're expensive. So it's very, very hard to get a full 4 stack on FanDuel or a full 5 stack on DraftKings and get a quality pitcher around them as well without having to punt to some bottom of the order, junk team somewhere to make a lineup. So most people won't do it, which means even though these are the best teams on paper, if they go off, not enough people are doing it on a big slate to really capitalize on it. So you are taking leverage on the field, and that's why they got to be that number 1 leverage rank. What do you see? And then honestly, what teams do you see in this list?
I tell you who my stacks, my tops are going to be the Dodgers, San Diego, Arizona, And then I also really like Washington.
That was a ballsy call.
I mean,
what makes you like Washington?
Just picking on the Orioles. They're not good right now, and on the Washington side too, going back to pitching, Mackenzie Gore is like 3% owned. You know, and the way the Orioles are playing, the weather conditions lean towards towards the hitters, I would say, but yeah, I like Washington a lot too. I go through the research station. I go through Nilly's Carnage Report and look for teams that are facing.
Well, let's do this because I already have that called up.
Yeah, I pull up and look at guys with horrible ISOs. You know.
So what do you see on this page when I'm sharing it with everybody together? Because we're not going to show the VIPs V-Tools a lot outside of being a VIP, but here's the Carnage Report.
Detroit would pop out real quick for facing Bowden Francis.
Is that down in here on X-Woba and ISO against kind of thing? That's what those dark reds are doing?
Yeah. And, and then obviously Arizona, which we've been looking at. And then I'll go back and compare that with, my weather conditions and just kind of do that. I'm kind of like you. I don't necessarily pay close attention to the implied run totals. And then I use another website, which I'm not going to promote, but I go there and they run thousands and thousands and thousands of sims every day. And their accuracy is pretty good. So I'll go through and see how they have the games playing out. And like I said,
you share that one. You share that one with
I share it.
Army,
I share it with VIPs. Yeah, I'm not going to push anybody here.
Oh, of course not. But that sure brings up a good point
to the secret sauce.
Hit the scroll bar down below, the little ticker, MLB Live. Use the code, get in here, and get access to that thing that Tattoo is talking about that he says he's not going to promote, but he gives to our VIPs.
I'm not going to promote another company.
Right.
So, I bleed green. So
I ain't drinking Pepsi over here. So, but yeah, is there any other stacks that you like outside of Washington? I mean, you said Arizona and the others, but yeah, I like how you look at the Carnage Report. Is there anything else on there that pops off to you?
Let me pop back over here. Okay. Too much.
You could just look at our screen.
I'm blind.
Chuck is asking while you're looking. Chuck is asking if it's safer to a better GPP choice anyway to choose Mackenzie Gore over Burns. Do you know, or do you have a lean one way or the other?
I think Burns is safer. Gore can be very volatile. I'm going with Gore because of the matchup, against Baltimore, but I feel like I'd feel safer with Corbin Burns facing Colorado.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but when I pop the little graphic up here, I like when it covers my face more than it covers the other guy's face. I've been blocking Razzle for a week, and he's the one doing all the damn talking. So, I mean, Gore and Barely. I can't read that one, Don. I don't know the Barely. Can you interpret that, Tattoo, in the comments? I'll put it up here again. I'll cover my face, my sexy face with that. God, that is some kind of dinosaur costume he's got as his avatar. I
haven't deciphered Barely yet.
Okay, well, maybe he can clarify. It was probably maybe a typo. I'm not good at picking up on typos. But so Carnage Report real quick. We'll go back here to leverage stacks. Let's do bomb calls.
Okay.
I mean, because we're pretty much in agreement on leverage stacks and where we would go and kind of why. The big stacks, the 5x2s, the 5x3s. I'm telling you tonight in my booster contest, I'm 100% 5x3 tonight. I'm just YOLO in this thing. And that's going to lead into the domination station hack that I'm going to show you guys in a minute. I'm kind of lying about the 5x3 now that I actually think about what I want to show you guys here in a minute. But bomb calls, I showed BVP earlier today. So I'm going to take the two that I'm actually kind of thinking about forcing into my stacks, and that's Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez. If you guys did not see that little short video, Jose Altuve has 7 bombs off of whatever starter they're facing today. Down Houston's facing, and Yordan Alvarez is hitting a 1,700 OPS over 20 at bats. I know 20 at bats is not much, but he's 12 for 20 with a 600 batting average against the guy and 1,700 OPS. That's sick. And Jose Altuve has faced him 52 times. He's 16 for 52, which is maybe not a great number, but of those 16 out of 52, 7 of those are bombs. I mean, if you're not mini stacking Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve, you don't believe in BVP, in my opinion. So I would make either one of those two guys my dawn call. I might do a Jose. I just about called him Jose. Jose Ramirez, 12 for 27, 3 bombs, and a 1420 OPS off of his starter. Those would be where I would go. So I'm going to throw it to the Bong King in Tattoo and let it rip. This is something everybody should be excited about. If you guys don't follow him on Twitter, you're just like totally missing out. What are your?
I'm going to jump back real quick because Dawn met Taj Bradley.
Gotcha.
And I like Bradley tonight. I might lean. I'd take him over Gore probably.
DS likes.
I just feel safer.
Okay. He's cheap too. He's $7K.
Bong calls. I love Lourdes, Guriel.
Yeah, L'Oreal. We'll just call him L'Oreal.
Yeah.
Make him a cosmetic one.
I like him as a homer. My crazy Bong call is Ramon Laureano.
That's a weird one. Yeah, that one is not something that's going to hit a lot of radars.
He's got a history of 6 for 8 versus Gore with 2 home runs.
So even though you like Mackenzie Gore, I
like Mackenzie Gore, which really makes the bong hit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Would you go double Bong and put them both in the same lineup?
Not on a 12-game slate. I would not know.
Right.
On a 3 or less slate, 1,000%.
I love it.
Because just like in hockey, I preach on small slates. Do not be afraid to play a skater versus your goalie.
Right, not stack, but
not stack. A skater.
Right, a one.
It can almost be. My brain ain't working, but it's not necessarily negative. It could be positive correlation.
It's the bomb.
He's firing shots on net.
Yeah, no, for real.
Not enough alcohol in my blood system.
If you do that, I love it. You're going through withdrawal. If you do the points differential between, let's say, a one-off hitting a home run and the pitcher, giving up a home run, it's really not the worst thing in the world. Now, when you need perfect correlation and perfect upside and everything to hit on a 10, 12-game slate because everybody else is going to be knocking on the nuts, then you need to have something like that. And you know what, DJ? It's a great question. I don't know when I pull these numbers off of basically a site that gives me BVP numbers. I'm not going to promote anybody. I'm not drinking Pepsi here either. But the fact of the matter is, I don't know who's on an injury list and who's not. I'm quoting basically awesome BVP. And a lot of these in the morning, they're not even great yet until the lineup comes out because managers can be really stupid. And for whatever reason, some guy like Jose Altuve will hit the bench tonight. And it's like, what are you even doing? Like, what numbers are you looking at?
If he sits Altuve tonight, he needs to be fired.
No, they're fireable offenses, and I see it happen here in St. Louis a lot, and which probably speaks to our management. But so yeah, I don't think if he's not playing right now, and he's not whatever, you got 2 others to go to in Altuve and whatever.
I like Altuve though. I mean, so 9 for 24, 4 home runs versus Evaldi.
I hate giving out bad info like that, but you know what I like? I like that the comments calls it out, and the reason that the comments calls it out is because it triggers the information, the need to share, which triggers community, which is what we're all about at DFS Army anyway. So you guys keep me on the straight and narrow, and we rock and roll. Funny, he won't be in the DS, so optimizer wise, he won't pull into any of your lineups anyway. So even if you try to go like, love, and adore the guy, you ain't gonna get shit out of it anyway. So yeah, that's cool. I appreciate the clarification, Don and others. That's absolutely awesome of you. Thank you. Let's do the DS hack really quick, and then we'll jump into the VIP challenge. In terms of setting up the DS, I need to share the tab and get it up to you guys. It's really, this is how I'm kind of going to set about my boosters. And again, like Tattoos, playing small field stuff, 30 man, 40 man, whatever. He only needs to get in the top 3% or something like that to pop one of those GPPs. I only got to get in the top 2% to pop a booster. So we're not playing super contrarian, game theory, crazy, whatever. And these big slates are sometimes the slates we thrive on because we look at the chalk and go, well, that's just obvious. And we pile into it. And everybody else, oh, I'm trying to be on the Marlins and the Angels tonight or whatever. And they run away and they create dead money lineups. And Tattoo and I are out there just scooping it all up like little hungry hippos. I want to show how I just set this thing up really quickly. I did a bunch of unique players. I took out 7, 8, and 9. It's a big enough slate. If DS can't find 1 through 6 hitters in lineups, then I don't want any part of it. I went 5x3. Just showing you here, I set up as full 5x3s, and these are the teams that I used on the left side, the big 5-man side. Arizona, Detroit, New York Yankees, Boston, San Diego, and St. Louis. Why? I don't know. Combination of leverage stacks and just what I feel might happen or might work, but you can see all of the standard stuff is in there. I left out LA. I could put them in there. I might not. I don't know. I just was like, you know what, a full 5-man stack, put them in the 3-man stack side where I included Milwaukee, San Francisco, Oakland, Mets, things like that. And I just want to see what it does. I cap it to force several different teams and combos in on that right-hand side, shift out those mini stacks. And then I can either build by batches on the left and just do 10 lineups of Arizona and then 10 lineups of Detroit and then 10 lineups of New York and get it to mix with all these guys. Or I can just run straight up 10 to 50 lineups with these guys all. I want 10% of these guys on the left. And it's going to at least force some lineups of 5 lineups or so of each of these teams. And then what it's going to do is it's going to mix and match all these other teams around it. Sometimes it bogs the optimizer down and it won't complete. So if I build 50 lineups, it might only give me 15. Fine. I don't care. I narrow down my pitcher pool because I'm only building 10 lineups. So I'm not trying to build 150. And here's what it puts out. I'm going to run it again just to see what it does. When I narrow down that pitching pool to whatever it was, 6 dudes, it should pop up an error message here in a second. There we go. Only could get 14 lineups. Fine. I don't care. I only need 10 of them. And I can run it again and again and again with some different configurations. I go into the combinations and I'm just looking at who we got. Look at all these solo stacks. I've got 2 Arizona and St. Louis's. And then I've got an Arizona, Seattle, Arizona Athletics, St. Louis, Texas, Athletics, Detroit, Athletics, St. Louis, Detroit, St. Louis, Seattle, St. Louis, Detroit, LA, Detroit, Seattle, whatever. All these combinations back of Baltimore, Detroit. It even gave me a little Baltimore, Boston a little bit. Now, granted, it didn't give me 10% of Boston. It gave me what, because it couldn't build some of those lineups. But when I go through these lineups now, let's say that I look, 5 Detroit and 5x3 with Oakland. Well, what would I do if I wanted to make it a 5x2? And this is the hack. If I wanted to turn the 5x3 into a 5x2, what do? I look at a 3,500 guy in the outfield, 4,200 guy in the shortstop, 3,900 guy at catcher. And I could just go, well, let's see what the catcher does. Do I find anybody in here that has one-off pop? Not really. So I probably wouldn't choose a catcher here. But if I come down here in shortstop, I don't have high hopes for shortstop being a limited position. Volpe wouldn't be bad. Story wouldn't be bad. Bogarts wouldn't be bad. Adames wouldn't be bad. Bichette wouldn't be bad. So this turned out better than I thought. I just swapped that guy in. Hit the little green plus button and swap that guy in and create the 5x2. Or I come down here into the outfield and take out a little bit of a punt guy. And let's see if we've got any power in the outfield. Jake Myers, Frelick. I've seen these guys hit bombs. There's Gurriel. Your bong call. I mean, why wouldn't I swap that guy in? Soler, Cruz has been, Taylor Ward's been okay. These guys are not like stud muffins or anything, but they're not bad. They're not bad. You just go down these lineups. And let's go all the way down here towards the bottom here. And here's what St. Louis and Baltimore. So I would look at Baltimore, 4,300, 4,400, 5,000. If I don't want Gunnar Henderson for whatever reason, I can have my pick at shortstop pretty much and take any of these guys, right? Or I can go up at catcher again. If I don't want Rutschman, I can probably put, didn't quite get Raleigh, but William Contreras, whatever. I'm sure these guys are in there. And then I can go right back down into the outfield again and take out Ryan O'Hearn and upgrade a little bit there. Rosarena, Brendan Donovan's well. There's Jose Altuve, outfield eligible, 7 bombs. Ozuna's hitting bombs. Nemo, Varsho. These guys are all in play. So you want to build some lineups. You can build this thing as 5x3s, and you can create 5x2s off of it. That's one of the things that I try to tell our VIPs all the time. Dive in, build this thing, build more lineups than you need, mess around with it, learn the little features of it, and then hand finish. Take some control, hand finish your own lineups. You want to go 4x3 for whatever reason, you can take out any of the 5 stack of Arizona.
I tell you, that's even how I attack the small field. I want to see what the DS is pushing out because I want to know what they're playing so I can see an optimal lineup.
There's your Taj Bradley, your Chris Sale. It gave me 71% Taj. Yeah.
I'll tell you some cheapos if you like are Kyle Isabel to get a cheapie. Mm-hmm. Or if you want a piece of that Arizona offense, Randall Grichuk.
Oh, yeah. Grichuk is a double bong dong waiting to happen. He's going to strike out 4 times and wear the collar, or he's going to hit 2 out. He's the most volatile. He's such a great GPP one-off.
Kyle Stowers, if you don't take Taj,
Yeah. It's got the options.
I pride myself in finding dipshits. Just like that lineup I sent you the other day is like the chalk. I might have, out of my 5-man Dodger stack, what did I get? Like maybe 8 points out of all 5 of them. And I had 115 points because all my dipshits went off.
That's funny. Well, then cheers to the dipshits. Yeah. Seems to be right up our alley as a community.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do the VIP challenge. Let's see if I can find me a lineup here. I know Kenny gave me one. I don't see anybody else throwing one out there. So it looks like Kenny gets the call again. Let me go ahead and snip this bad boy off and post it for everybody to go through. I'll have you look. Sim projections on Discord, Ricky, are not – we don't do sims at DFS Army yet. Tattoo was referencing a site which shall not be named. Now, he will post them, in MLB Coaches Notes? I'll let you talk about what you do from there.
Yeah, I go through and I can't share everything from the website, but they put out cheat sheets so I can kind of share that with everybody to let them, go through. And then they have a page where they sim every game and just it's a geek hard on if you like numbers. So it's a ridiculous amount of information on that place. So
a geek hard on. That's kind of funny.
Math boner.
Right. Whatever the case may be.
While you pull the lineup.
Well, I'm trying to get that damn thing in here. And if I can find it. There it is. Get everybody else back up here. Present and pull this in here. Sorry, guys. It's taking me a little while. I'm counting on Razzle to run his mouth like I can. Talk to the shadow. Talk to the wall. To the window. To the walls.
To the bold rock down to my...
That's the one. And I need to shrink this a smidge. Whoa, that ain't even a lineup. Here. Where did that come from? That's not even a damn lineup.
If you ever need a bartender,
you're available. Oh, when you pull these things last minute, this is what happens. Desktop, find me one.
Don said something too about his lineup.
Oh, where's Don at?
That's the second time, Darth, you've said Rolling Rock, and you know damn well it's Bold Rock.
There's Kenny. Where's Don? Where's your lineup, bud? We haven't had Don in yet. We've had a couple of guys in there once or twice. Hey, Don, either throw it in Discord or if you can post it in the comments. We'll take a peek of it. Look at this shit lineup again.
Darth coming here effing with me.
I'm telling you, I cannot, for whatever reason, get this thing going today. What a mess.
I confess. Donkey shame.
My brain isn't working. Something's up. Yours isn't working. Mine isn't working.
I'm a redneck, Mega. I drink out of red Solo cups.
Right? Oh, this is weird. I'm pulling in these A1 and A2 files from my computer. They are lineups, but it's throwing me something crazy. That's weird. I'll just read it to everybody. We'll just do it that way. Unless Don, where's Don at? Is his?
He said he would send it to you.
Okay, we can certainly send it to me, unless you want us to go through it.
Third base, catcher.
Oh, well, that's why I am snipping Kenny's. Kenny didn't give me a lineup. Kenny just submitted a bunch of pitchers. Oh my God.
Not DPs, are they?
Oh my God. No. Oh my God. That's so funny. Well, hey, we don't need a VIP challenge today either, unless somebody wants to send one at the last minute.
Don, send yours in.
Just if he says he's going to send it to me. And it doesn't have to be done right now. It can be, you've got, another 30 minutes or whatever before lock or more to rock this thing out. We got about 5 minutes left in the show here. So if you can get it to me next 5 minutes, it's fine. If you guys got questions, fire them in because I don't like showing a blank screen. So let me at least go back to leverage stacks for everybody and show them that. But, I mean, I've got about all we're done with for the day for me. I don't know what else you've got. We can talk.
I was going to add, if you want to parlay that bong hit, throw Altuve in there because he would have been my third. But Don just threw his lineup in.
Yeah, I see it. Gore, Bradley, Torkelson, Altuve, Abrams. Third base is blank right now. Wood, Green, catcher's blank, outfield blank. That's fine. He's got 3 missing pieces. What we should all do is you guys should throw him suggestions and who to fill in with those lineups.
I think he said he had about 10-9 left for those positions.
So the way I would see it, Don, is when you get it to lock or whatever and you lock something in, either DM me or tag me or something like that. We'll find it. I'll hit you up through the weekend. We'll get that score. I will give you my lineup. In fact, why don't we do it? I'm going to build 10 lineups today.
I'll tell you,
how many you're doing.
I'd throw 2 Arizona outfielders in there and then see what you got left for catcher.
How many lineups are you doing tonight?
6.
All right. Don, pick a number between 1 and 6. Throw it in the comments. Crickets. I want him to throw a number between 1 and 6 because I want a random choice of the 10 lineups I'm using 4. Okay, lineup number 4 that comes out of the optimizer when I get my 10 lineups. The 10 lineups I submit in the booster, you get lineup number 4. You cool with that, Tat? You want to throw in your 4th lineup of your 6?
Yeah.
All right. Then that's the way we'll do it, and we'll see if the VIPs can get over the staff once again. I don't really have anything to – I think that you provide a little bit with the – mini stack and then whatever you got left for catcher. That's pretty cool. I don't have anything to really tear apart lineups.
2,700.
One of the things I will say this. Oftentimes, whatever piece you think that you're going to need to pump, fill that in first. Or let's say you've got 3,100 left over for 3 positions. Go find that value guy now. You're going to find him in the outfield, probably easier than anywhere else. Go find him now. Get the least objectionable option. Throw him in your lineup. Get that 3,100 average salary remaining or whatever up 32, 33, 34, 35 so that you're not on your last spot going, oh, crap, I've only got 1,800 left. What do I do? Instead, you've got 4K left. Now you can go pick from a stud. He's an easy one. He's a good one. He works. He'll pop a few homers through the year. But that would be one to get under that average price. You put Grichuk in there, and then you go fill in the other 2 the way you want it. And then if you've got a few $100 left over, you look at upgrading Grichuk if you want or not. That's the way I like to build. I get to the final 3 or 4 spots, and then I start going, I need my value guy. Who is my least objectionable guy? And then I'm going to build the rest of my stuff from there, focusing on giving myself more and more salary.
Just guys that I know like recently have been hitting well. Cody Clements, 3,000. Kyle Isabel, who I mentioned, 29.
He's got Muncy in there at 3,100, and Muncy's he's batting 176 or whatever the hell it was. Didn't he hit 2 out last night or the night before?
Yeah, I don't know the order right now, but I'll tell you, I'm a broken stack guy. I don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I break it up.
Conforto's good, Darth. I'm with you. I don't worry too much about the gaps. I know that they correlate better,
any stack will correlate. You can do the math.
Right.
Any stack will correlate.
Well, how many times have you seen a walk, an out, a single, a walk, an out, whatever, and then another single, bases are loaded, and then it's like the two-hole guy started it off, and it's the 8 guy that hits the slam.
Yeah,
or whatever it is. It can work usually.
And those 8-9 guys.
That usually can work. I like to keep to the top of the order myself, only because when I'm building for top 2% and not trying to nut the slate, that's going to work over the course of the year. Like on any given night, it ain't going to work. But
I usually, if I'm going to use a low end or lower end of the batting order, it's going to be part of my stack. Not
for sure, absolutely. They're not one-offs.
But and I also I don't like spending my money, busting my load on a one-off Aaron Judge, because he keeps me from getting the stack I want.
Okay. That's interesting.
I'm spending all my money on one guy, which, like I said, I'm looking for raw points on these smaller field shit. And, when I throw in a high price guy, it really starts to affect who you can stack.
Yeah, if he's too high.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's only a few. It used to be like the Mike Trout days, when he just got shoved in every lineup, and I'm like, yep, I'm not paying $6K for Mike Trout tonight.
I think Ohtani and Judge were 65 and 6,400 the other night alone.
Ohtani's 400 less on FanDuel than Judge.
Wow. Well, see, there you go. Yeah, well, and people that ask that too, if you're swapping out a one-off and you do want to use one of those guys, just take the lower owned guy tonight. If you're in a larger field thing, the fact that Judge and Ohtani are on the same slate, don't even try to tell me which one you think is going to score more points, because it's a coin flip.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want Judge or Ohtani to affect me getting Carroll in my Arizona stacks.
For real, totally get it. Totally good. But if you had the money left over at the end, there you go.
The money, yeah.
Dar's throwing out a quick tip. Leverage the small field stuff. Fade the highest priced or the highest owned. Ohtani, for example. The rest of the lineup is in as good of a spot matchup wise. So get a little leverage that way. Yeah, that's one of the things that I've told people the same thing. You take Ohtani out, you build 5 Dodgers around that, and then you use Judge, or then you use whatever else with that salary that you save.
Because he has to go off.
Yeah, for real. But that's the thing. But he's one of the guys that's obviously likely to. Yeah. Well, let's put a pretty little bow on this one and send it in the best for tonight.
All right.
I got about half of my beer left. I'll shotgun that thing here when we cut off the air. And when he goes 0 for 4, which usually doesn't happen, you've automatically got leverage on the field. Amen to that, Darth. Don, with that money, you've got 2-3 Dodger players. Ooh, okay. Now Don's starting to spook me a little bit. Play with that a little bit and shoot it to us at the end. Tat and I will get together and we'll throw you the number 4 lineup of the ones that we've picked, and we'll send this thing into the weekend on a happy note. You guys, seriously, helmets up, put your avatars on, and let's get up on those leaderboards and let's brag about it. I mean, the industry needs to know that we are freaking bosses in this industry. So, Tat, thanks for filling in.
On their face tonight.
That's right. Thanks for filling in. Really appreciate it. You guys like, subscribe, share, do all the stuff that you do, and thanks for being DFS Army members. We will. I guess we'll talk to you on Monday.